Hello everyone, my name is Erren Greywolf. My last name is 2 words and I have no middle name. I am the author of the series called Beneath the Surface, which is a futuristic science fiction adventure mixed with Celtic and Norse myths. Sorry, that's a real bugger for me to say, but anyway, it's a tale about 2 telepathic brothers who possess a unique bond as well as other supernatural talents. Kirkus Review described the story as a science fiction adventure, but it borders on the fantasy genre as well. It also contains metaphysical and paranormal subject matter. The first book in this saga is called The Lost Boy. A quick 1-sentence synopsis of the story is this. Sean Archer seeks redemption as he hunts the haunted forest for the little brother he so carelessly abandoned out of grief for the death of their mother. I hope you will forgive my little speech impediments. I assure you I am a much better writer than I am a speaker. I will now describe Beneath the Surface, The Lost Boy in more detail. First, I need to talk about the prologue and the introduction. Please bear with me for just one moment as I explain this problem. When you sneak a peek inside The Lost Boy on the Amazon website, it doesn't show you enough. It only shows part of the introduction and the appendix. You don't even get to see Chapter 1, where I introduce the characters. I have been told that in our era, writers must show, not tell, but I need the introduction to tell you what has happened between now and the future my story is set within. I need to tell you how the Earth was destroyed and how humanity fled in giant ark-like spaceships to a new solar system. I need to tell you about the enormous space station they built out of those arks and why humanity built it. Some would say I should cut out this introduction and get right to the characters, but the introduction has important information. Please don't judge the whole book by the introduction. Would you want to cut out Tolkien's prologue concerning hobbits in The Lord of the Rings? No, of course not. You need to know about the hobbits. My book also starts with a bit of narration in the introduction, but once you get past that and into Chapter 1, you will see that I stop telling and start showing you what is going on. If you would like to see a better sample of my story than what Amazon shows, I invite you to go to my website where you can read the first 3 chapters for free there. My website is www.errengreywolf.ca. That's www.errengreywolf.ca. In Beneath the Surface, The Lost Boy, Chapter 1 begins with Sean Archer when he is a 9-year-old boy living in Titan, the greatest space station humanity had ever built. But he hates to live there. The kids at school bully him because he is different. Even though he tries to hide his differences under a hood or adopts a native accent, it does him no good. He stands out like a red cape that a matador flaunts in front of a charging bull, and bullies cannot resist attacking him. Ironically, humanity originally built Titan to act as a bridge between the 2 planets Midgard and Freya in order to strengthen brotherhood, yet brotherhood was not the lesson young Sean learns here. If he had learned about this high ideal, there would never have been a second tragedy in the family. Sean's father, Colin, is a highly paid interplanetary salesman who longs to settle down on Midgard and buy a plot of land to farm. He wants to provide a better environment for his family, far away from the racist Titans who discriminate against his wife and son. He couldn't get his family away fast enough. Fate deals a terrible blow when his pregnant wife goes into labor prematurely aboard the Migrant Swan, a commercial spaceship bound for Midgard. After the ship makes a calculated space jump to shorten the distance between Titan and Midgard, while it soars within the starless void between places, a terrible tragedy occurs. In the lifelessness of space, Bridget perishes, screaming. From her death, an unusual boy is born within that void, but his birth, which should have been a joy, brings shock and sorrow to his family. Colin Archer succeeds in buying his dream farm, but it is an empty dream. His heart died aboard that spaceship. He never marries again, and he cannot give his new son the love he needs. He ignores him and neglectfully leaves him, oftentimes in the care of his older brother. Sean seems to be the patient one when tending to the babe, which leads Erren to think that Sean loves him, but hidden beneath the surface, Sean hates the child's very existence. 2 years after the loss of his mother, Sean abandons his baby brother in the forest out of grief. He leaves him by an old oak tree, commanding him to stay, as if he were a dog. Full of anger, Sean blames his brother for their mother's death and goes off hunting, never realizing the full consequences of his heartless act. While he is away, someone hears the lonely little child crying. The mysterious queen of the forest finds the sad, abandoned boy all alone and picks him up to comfort him. She notices he is able to see her subjects, the elementals of her forest, and this ability makes her feel connected to him. An elemental is another word for fairy. I prefer the term elemental because my books are too serious for airy-fairy nonsense. Back to the story. While Queen Elea holds the child in her arms, she gazes into his future. But upon witnessing visions of horrific events, she decides to steal him away into the other world to protect him. She takes him into her secret etheric palace beneath the surface of the forest floor. When Sean returns much later and finds Erren gone, he is angry at first that his brother did not stay by the oak tree. When he can't find his brother, his anger turns to worry, and his worry turns to guilt. One day later, while a search party is still looking for Erren in the forest and Sean is stuck at home, waiting and hoping for good news, a visitor appears. He sees his mother's spirit, and he talks to her. The last words she says before she vanishes are, "The forest took him." So when the search party cannot find Erren, Sean tries to find his little brother by himself. In fact, he searches the forest almost every weekend for years on a noble quest to find his lost brother and to right the wrong he has done. As Sean searches the great Mississauga forest, he is unaware that his latent telepathic gift is awakening. He begins to hear voices. It seems as if the trees are talking to him, telling him to go home. Inevitably, he comes to realize that the longer he hunts, the more he doubts his sanity. He does not know why the forest feels so hostile. He has a spiritual crisis. He is unable to understand he is having a battle of wills with the mystical forest queen as she tries to stop him from taking her little boy. That is the synopsis of Beneath the Surface, The Lost Boy. If you wish to purchase the print or Kindle version, go to Amazon.com. But if you do a search for Beneath the Surface, you'll get tons of results. So make sure you search for Beneath the Surface, Erren Grey Wolf. The search engine will then take you right to my books. In Canada, on Amazon.ca, you can only buy the Kindle version right now, but on the American site Amazon.com, you can purchase the print version for $12.99 and the Kindle version for $2.99. For updates on the following books in this saga, visit my website at www.errengraywolf.ca or my Facebook page called Beneath the Surface. One update of importance is this. The first edition of Book 1, The Lost Boy, has now become 2 books called The Lost Boy, 2nd edition, and Long Lost Brother. I did this because a literary agent once told me that 178,000 words for a first book in this genre is far too big, so I split the fat book into 2 smaller ones. The Beneath the Surface saga is really one big story, and none of these books can stand on their own. You must read them in sequence if you are to read them at all. Many end in cliffhangers, which invite you to read the next book to find out what happens to the two brothers. I'm planning for Book 2 to be out in April and Book 3 to be out in November of 2013. But once again, check my sites for updates to find out more. If you are interested in my stories, I must warn you that my books get darker as they progress. The first 2 books are suitable for young adults, but the later books are not. I'm not sure about Book 3 as yet, as I might need to split that big fat book into 2 smaller stories as well. But in the book called Wolf Boy, when the 2 brothers join the Royal Canadian Space Fleet, there is a lot of coarse language and then some violence on a secret mission. On that mission, the enemy captures the 2 brothers. Sean is later rescued, but his younger brother, Erren, is not. In the book after that, a secret enemy tortures Erren during a satanic ritual, and in the next book, he is a controllable assassin who kills a lot of people. As a result of torture, satanic rituals, demons, gory violence, and severe post-traumatic stress disorder, these are the reasons why the later books are definitely not for young adults. So if you read a future book called The Supreme Court of Titan in particular and get freaked out by the dark psychological trauma, don't say I didn't warn you. If you are a literary agent who wishes to represent my books, you can go to my website, www.errengraywolf.ca, for contact information. That's www.errengraywolf.ca. Someday these books will be in a bookstore near you, but as I am telling you this, in March of 2013, the best place to buy them is online at Amazon.com. I thank you all for listening to me talking about my stories. I hope you will enjoy reading them as much as I have enjoyed writing them, and I hope you didn't mind my little speech impediments. This is Erren Gray Wolf signing off. Thank you very much.